The smartest men, they built a rocket, aimed it at a target far, far, far away. But by the time they knew they lost it, it was a long way, was a long way, was a long way. We're a long way, we're a long way, we're a long way off. The smartest men, they saw a world with corners and endings far, far, far away. When they drew it out and searched it, they were a long way, were a long way, were a long way. We're a long way, we're a long way, we're a long way.
Good morning. Yes, I can say good morning because prologue is normally 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you've made your porridge, just put it back on the pot a minute and let it thicken up a bit, just like it is at camp, while we just have a few thoughts for the day. I think when we come away to a place like Lee Abbey, we can be just simply wowed by the sheer beauty of this special field in this special part of Exmoor. Coming through the Valley of the Rocks is amazing. I've been coming here to Linton and Lynmouth since I was 11, and yes, that is nearly 60 years. I've also had the privilege to walk the entire length of the southwest coast path. That's the whole coastline from Minehead right the way around to Poole via Land's End. But it all started here. I was sitting one day with Barbara in a cafe in Lynmouth, looking up to Countersbury Hill, stunned by the sheer beauty of it, and thinking I'd really like to walk that coast path. So I did. I broke it into 100-mile lengths and did it over a 6-year period. But you know, even after walking all that distance with all that wonderful coastline, I still think this is one of the best places on the entire path. I still love coming back to this place. And yet, it's tiny. We are tiny when we come to this field, in this whole beautiful countryside. I don't know if you saw a Horizon program a few weeks back now, but it was about the Hubble spacecraft and its exploration of space. I'm going to show you a short clip from it.
The Hubble Space Telescope has given us an incredible image for its 30th birthday. This image reveals a beautiful nursery for new stars in a nearby satellite galaxy to our own Milky Way. The bright, newly formed stars in the middle of this image are at least 10 times more massive than our Sun. Powerful radiation from these stars is causing the surrounding gas to glow in stunning colors. The blue indicates oxygen gas heated to nearly 20,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The red indicates the presence of nitrogen and hydrogen. Those massive stars are also driving powerful winds of charged particles which are sculpting out the bubble and ridge structures we can see across the nebula. The blue nebula at the lower left of the image is actually material ejected from a single huge star in the center That star is 200,000 times brighter than our sun. The whole region shows how dynamic our universe is, with stars continuing to form and affect their surroundings, and it's Hubble's exquisite vision from its orbit above Earth's atmosphere that gives us the ability to get a clear glimpse of this kind of incredible beauty and activity. The Hubble Space Telescope has changed the way we think of space and our place in the universe. Hubble has refined our understanding of the age of the universe and its rate of expansion, and through its deep fields it has peered across billions of light years to reveal ancient adolescent galaxies we can compare with our own Milky Way. It has shown us the telltale effects of mysterious dark energy and dark matter, and it has given us a front row seat to these beautiful interstellar clouds and nebulas where new stars and their surrounding disks of dust and planets continue to form.
In that clip at the beginning, Gungor was singing "A Long Way Off, a Long Way Off." The numbers are mind-boggling. Whether you're looking at that program or just standing in the field looking up at the sky. Stars 200,000 times brighter than our sun, 21,000 light years away. But a light year, just one light year, is 6 trillion miles. So it rather puts us in our place. And then we read this psalm, Psalm 8. O Lord our Sovereign, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory above the heavens. Out of the mouths of babes and infants, you have founded a bulwark against your foes, to silence the enemy and the avenger. When I look at your heavens, the works of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you have established, what are human beings that you are mindful of them? Mortals, that you care for them. Yet you have made them a little lower than God, and crowned them with glory and honour. You have given them dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under their feet, all sheep and oxen, and also the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea, whatever passes along the paths of the sea. O Lord our Sovereign, how majestic is your name in all the earth. Just listen to verse 4 again. What are human beings that you are mindful of them? Mortals that you care for them? When we consider the vastness of space, we're nothing. Even in this environment of North Devon, we're pretty small. And yet the psalmist says, God is mindful of them. He cares about us. He cares for each one of us. In verse 6, he talks about you have been given dominion over the works of your hands. With that comes authority, but also great responsibility. We're not always good at exercising that authority. We certainly don't behave very responsibly at times. And I want to finish with what is probably my favourite hymn. It's an old hymn, but I love it. And there's an interesting story behind it. You're probably familiar with the words, "Dear Lord and Father of mankind, forgive our foolish ways. Reclothe us in the rightful mind. In purer lives thy service find. In deeper reverence praise." This hymn's a bit of a paradox. It was written by a guy called John Whittier, who worshipped in the tradition of the Society of Friends, also known as the Quakers. And traditionally, Quakers have not sung in worship, but value silence, waiting for the still, small voice of God. According to the accounts of Whittier, there was some use of a plant called soma that's found in northwest India. Soma was used to prepare an intoxicating drug that was ingested in religious rituals, resulting in a state of frenzy. And this hymn is part of a long poem, but we have just verses really 12 to 17. Things were getting pretty out of control, with hysterical camp meetings and revivals common in his day. But he continues with biblical examples of simplicity and sincerity. He talks about the simple trust of the disciples who heard the gracious calling of Jesus. Like them, we should rise up without a word and follow the Master. He talks about beautiful phrases like Sabbath rest, by the sea with the calm hills above. We can relate to that here in the Abbey. And it was in this serene setting that Christ came to pray, in the silence of eternity, interpreted by love. Goes on to talk about dropping still dews of quietness till all our striving cease. The last verse speaks of images of breathing and calm, closing with the magnificent "Speak through the earthquake, wind and fire, O still small voice of calm." So despite this wonderful place we're in, think about how small we are relative to creation. And yet, God cares for us. He's mindful of us and wants to speak through the mess of life, the earthquake, wind and fire. Speak his small voice of calm, if we will listen. So let's just stop for a moment, think about what we've heard, and pray for anything that strikes us. And also pray for our friends we're missing at camp. Pray for each other, and pray for ourselves as we go into this new day. In a moment we'll finish with "Dear Lord and Father of mankind." I'm going to use soundtrack from the Kettering Salvation Army brass band who play at Greenbelt. I'm going to put the words up, but not have a sung version of it. So do follow the words and enjoy.